Restoration marketing is not all about internet marketing. Restoration marketing is about growing a brand, creating referrals, and relationships with others within the industry.
This isn't just any podcast. This is your secret weapon for dominating the market.
This is the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast, and this is your host, Sean McMean.
On today's episode, we are going to talk about the R word. The R word is relationships, how relationships can be the lifeblood of your restoration company. You might think, as an internet marketer for restoration companies, I wouldn't want to talk about other things outside of internet marketing. That's completely false. I think relationships with plumbers, insurance companies, property managers, other people within the industry are one of the most critical components of growing your damage restoration business. You know, think about it. Homeowners have the opportunity to connect with you in multiple ways, not only if they go out and search for you online, but also if they go out and search for a plumber, or if they go out and search for their, they talk to their insurance company. Those are areas that you need to be focusing on when you're growing the brand and your damage restoration business. When I talk about relationships, I really talk about it in a way of having multiple fishing poles in the water. So when homeowners or businesses are looking for your services in your area, you have multiple opportunities to reach them, and you're not just focusing on one specific area. It's very easy to say, oh, I'm just going to do SEO, build a website, and pray that homeowners find me online because I have an advertising budget online. That is not going to grow your business past a certain extent. You need to have relationships with plumbers, with property managers, insurance companies along the way. And it can be complicated to build these relationships. I was talking to a client of ours the other day, and one of the things that he had mentioned to me was he went out and created a list of plumbers in his local area that have recently been licensed, and he was wanting to reach out to those to start building relationships. And I said, absolutely, that's a great way of doing that. And he told me, he goes, I started doing that, and it was just kind of awkward or weird conversations. And I said, well, how so? And he said, well, I called them and, I offered to pay for leads, if they actually go out there and do a plumbing or fix a leak or something like that. And it was just kind of an awkward situation. And one of the things that I had noted there was the awkwardness of the situation and leading with the actual, hey, I'm going to pay you for these leads. I think it's critically important nowadays more than ever is to have the relationship started, and that starts with helpfulness or being helpful to that plumber or that insurance company and providing value to them and being helpful in a way that builds a relationship in a positive manner. Because money, at the end of the day, people want to get paid for, for doing things or doing work and all of those things, but that only goes so far. The relationship side and being helpful to other people within the industry is much more valuable than just saying, hey, leading with, hey, I'm going to give you $500 per job that you send my way. Most people, if they don't know you, they don't trust you, they're going to say, okay, thanks, I'll keep you in mind in the future, right? And one of the other things I had mentioned to him, I said, well, with those awkward conversations, how many people did you talk to and whatnot? And he had mentioned he'd reached out to 5. And I said, well, how many were on your list? And he said, over 100. I said, it's a numbers game, number one. You got to reach out to more of them, have more conversations, and lead with value and lead with helpful content and create a relationship versus leading with dollars, right? And, that's something that's, it takes time to nurture. You're not going to just call them and then they're going to start referring you business. Same thing with insurance companies. So how do you create value? How do you create helpful content that's going to build that relationship? Number one, with plumbers, you refer them work as well. As a damage restoration company, you're going to have opportunities that you're going to need a licensed plumber on a job. And so refer them work. And no strings attached to it. No strings attached. You call them, you refer them work, several times. If you like working with them, they do a great job, build that relationship over time. That way, when they actually get jobs and they need to refer the mitigation side to you or the restoration side, you have that relationship established. Another way of providing value or leading with value is just dropping in and saying hi, or giving them some sort of helpful piece of content about, an information graph about what to do if your home's floods, or if you reach out to insurance companies, give them some helpful information about how to deal with, for homeowners, how to deal with a fire and the smoke and all of those things related to it, right? And so lead with that helpful information, drop by, give them some donuts. It's about just treating it as a friendship before you ask for the value side of thing or the job side of thing, and so it's about the relationship, building a relationship as you would as a friend and networking. And if you lead that way, you're going to have much more opportunity to build something that lasts a lifetime and that you both benefit from versus one side. And that's what I would say about the relationship side of thing. You want to have multiple fishing poles in the water. Internet marketing is absolutely important to be able to reach homeowners and businesses that are needing your services in your area. But relationships are just as important. And one or two of those relationships can just give you that other fishing pole in the water so that you can catch more fish, so you can catch more jobs. And so don't just rely on one mechanism. Don't just rely on plumbers, because sometimes those relationships will fail, or those jobs will fall on by the wayside. So building a brand for your company, creating multiple fishing poles in the water is a critical component of growing and having a successful business. And lead with value, lead with help, and just think about it that way. How would you like someone to approach you when building a partnership? And that's how I would lead with it. Now you might ask yourself, okay, so how do I connect with these plumbers? The first step is just taking a risk and putting yourself out there by knocking on their door, give them a call, send them an email. And I would treat it as, there's this golden rule kind of in marketing. I guess it's some sort of golden rule. 7 touch points, right? 7 touch points, 7 ways of reaching out to them, whether it's sending them a piece of mail or a flyer or a trifold brochure or something like that, postcard, reaching out to them and give them a phone conversation. You could also just drop by their office if they're there. You could drop by and bring donuts. You could bring some pizza. You could ask them if they want to go out to lunch sometime. All of those things that are somewhat common sense, maybe not. That's how you lead with value and you build a relationship, and then obviously refer them work as you get work that comes along your way. That builds a trustful relationship there, and that's where I've seen it be successful for other damage restoration companies. And at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to also give them a kickback on that lead. And those kickbacks can vary. They can vary from nothing, because it's a mutual beneficial relationship where you're both trading work, or it can vary from $200 to $500 to even $1,000 for qualified jobs that referrals. So hopefully that's helpful. The key on this is the big R word: create relationships, put multiple fishing poles in the water, and you will get opportunities to grow your damage restoration business over time. All right, that's the end of this episode. Thanks again for following along with this journey of mine on Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast.
You've been listening to the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. Sean's not here to just talk the talk. He's walked the walk. With a track record of helping over 70 damage restoration companies and engaging in over 500 conversations with industry owners, he's seen it all. From digital marketing triumphs to the most ingenious growth hacks, he's got the keys to the kingdom, and he's sharing them with you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, for more, hit the website at restorationmarketing.com. See you next time on the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast.